Alright, so this is kind of an impromptu video. I just wanted to do an update on the NEC 7610 restoration that I've been doing. I did manage to get the CF card working finally after quite an ordeal, and this is using the inline adapter, the one that plugs directly into the IDE port. It's not the one that uses the bracket in the back. I do have that, I just don't have it installed yet. That's going to be part of a future video, but I did get it working. It was an ordeal. I'll explain it in that future video as an official follow-up, and just so that you can see that I am using that. Just showing up as a generic IDE disk, unfortunately. So let's we'll restart it and I can show you the BIOS. I can say it's a little snappier with the CF card instead of using a traditional spinning disk, obviously. I have not done any other modifications yet. I was just really happy to get that one working. I actually have been working on it for a little while, and after doing some research and trying a bunch of random things, I managed to get it working. So there it is there. It's a 4 gig adapter, so I'll open up the case and I'll show you it actually is installed in there. So yeah, this case is really annoying to open up because of those rubber pads on the other side here to give the board a little more stability. I left the old hard drive installed because I didn't want to lose it, have it get damaged or anything, but it's not plugged in. As you can see down there, the ID adapter, let me see if I can zoom in a little. Yeah, so here's the IDE adapter, the CF to IDE adapter. It's just installed there. I do have plans to, like I said, move it to a bracket install, and I have that here. And I want to do that because it'll be easier to swap out CF cards, different operating systems. You know, this one's got the stock system installed. I want to get a DOS and Windows 3.1 install going. So there's that. That'll go in there in a future video. Where I'll do all kinds of upgrades and mods to this. So I've got that, and I also want to do a Windows NT CF card and maybe a flavor of Linux. And I know what's the point of NT4 or NT351 and all that. Just, you know, for playing around, messing around, nostalgia, stuff like that. I do have a couple of different size cards as well to go with that for those different operating systems. Although the stock one is using a 4 gig. I believe it's only using a 2 gig partition though. Yeah, it's only using 2 gigs out of the 4, so I may partition another volume on here just for games and stuff like that, or maybe I'll do a dual boot with this one and do NT4 on here since it's analogous, whatever. It's comparable to Windows 95 from this era. Also in the other previous pickups videos you saw I do have a cache and a stick module I want to get installed on there. I also have, where is it at? These VRAM memory modules to upgrade to a full 2 meg, which is required for a lot of the early 3D accelerators, especially those that did a loop back through the 2D accelerator because they only did 3D, such as the 3DFX1, 3DFX2. Although I'm having a hard time trying to find any of those at an affordable price, so we'll see how long it is before I get those upgrades. I may have to just get something like an ATI card or something like that just to give me some 3D. I also have, of course, where did it go? The Sound Blaster 32 card, along with a couple of memory modules for it to upgrade it, allow the use of larger sound fonts. Of course, I have the ever popular Gotek drive, which I cut the hole a little bit too big for the OLED display, so I had to put some tape around this to give it a border. It'll work for me for now. I may, in the future, maybe buy a 3D printer and start getting into that, because I've been wanting to do that for a while, but I've always been hesitant to do so because it's got a steep learning curve to it, and there's a lot of patience required to calibrate and things like that. I also have, what do I have here? HDMI to VGA, so I can do some capturing. Is this, and this is a VGA split adapter, Y adapter, so I can still have it hooked up to the monitor as well. And that's it for upgrades for now, and mods and things like that. Like I said, I want to put a 3D card in there, but if I try to stick with the PowerVR, which is what I had and I would really like to have for this, they're like a couple $100 minimum. I almost was able to snag one for like 100, and it got sniped at the end of the auction, of course. I did have a Voodoo 2 card, but it was in a future build, not this one, although if I can find one of those, I'll use it as well. I could do a Voodoo 3, which is pricey too, but that'll replace the 2D accelerator that's on here, negating this, but I may not have a choice. Same thing with going with an ATI card. So really holding out hope I can get a PowerVR card or a Voodoo 1 or 2. Prefer a Voodoo 2. It's got more compatibility, it's more stable, it's in better performance. So when I also still want to try to find a CRT. The lead I had earlier kind of fell through. I waited a little too long and it got bought. There is another one that I found on the marketplace. It's not quite period accurate. It's actually a little bit older. I think it's from the 486 generation. But it is a CRT. It's an NEC CRT, and on top of that, it's a multi-sync. So hopefully I'll be able to use it with some other retro computers, such as the Amiga 500, using some adapters, obviously, as well as the Atari 520 ST that I still have to work on and get going, and the IBM 5150, in fact. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to pick that up. Hopefully I can contact the seller if they haven't already sold it and do a meet and just pick it up and go from there. But other than that, those are all the upgrades that I want to do. But yeah, that's the update I have for now. One other thing I may do, actually, before I close out, is I may install this ATA 100 IDE card. I don't know if this system can boot off of expansion cards. I just don't know. I'll have to test and find out. Maybe in that video we'll test it and see. Because if I can get some extra performance out of it, that would be even better. But yeah, so that's it for this video. Just wanted to do a follow-up so you guys didn't think that I just forgot about it. It is going to be coming up in a future video. Probably either one really long video or maybe a couple of parts. We'll see. But that's it for this one. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. Feel free to subscribe, but never any obligation to do so. Otherwise, I'll catch y'all later.